Alrighty, folks. Welcome to the IBB podcast. I'm your co-host, Cam.
I am your co-host, Noah, and today we are joined by a special guest. You want to introduce yourself for us?
Hi, my name is Nathan Short, and I have no affiliation whatsoever here.
Yeah, so this is a special podcast where we will be talking about all of the new up-and-coming movies and TV shows of Marvel's release slate for 2021 into 2022. This is exciting. What a great year this is going to be. Great couple of years going down the road. As you can see, we have at least 11 titles to talk about and share some news with you guys about plot, characters, villains, and all that good stuff. You guys want to add anything before we start?
It's been a long time coming.
All right, fair enough. Here we go.
Pushed off too far.
Let's start off with our first one, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Our first slide here is of Jonathan Majors coming in as Kang the Conqueror. He's actually a big Avengers villain, so it's kind of interesting to see him take on this Ant-Man and the Wasp role. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, but we all know he's a time travel villain. Short, that's right?
Yep.
All right.
I believe he works a lot with the quantum realm, and I'm very excited to see what kind of role he plays in any future films. If it might lead to any more Avengers films or not.
I'm scared this might come into like another Avengers 2.5 situation with Captain America Civil War, but I'm hopeful for this. Next up, we have Catherine Newton, a.k.a. Stature, or Cassie Lang. You might recognize her. She was a brunette in Endgame, but this is her as a blonde here. So she's coming in. She's reprising her role as Cassie Lang for Stature for Ant-Man and the Wasp 3: Quantumania. Next up, take it away, guys.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the Fantastic Four movie. This has been heavily rumored for years now, and it is said to be directed by John Watts. He is the same director as the heavily praised Spider-Man movies, Homecoming and Far From Home. So already I expect high hopes from the Fantastic Four movie, and I'm hoping they get the casting right, and I'm hoping it's better than those old, awful ones from the early 2000s.
Well, they severed ties with Fox, so I'm hopeful already. Short, why don't you, I'm going to tag you in here for Captain Marvel 2. Tell us about it.
Oh, Captain Marvel 2. I'm so excited for this movie. The release date is November 11th, 2021. They've added a grown-up version of Monica Rambeau to the cast, who is also in WandaVision.
That's this picture here from the trailer.
Yep, and in this, in Captain Marvel 2, she'll be working on the Sword Space Station, which we briefly saw at the end of Endgame.
Actually, it was Spider-Man Far From Home in that second post-credit scene.
Oh.
Sorry to correct you.
Please correct me.
Okay, we'll do. Yeah. Next up
is Miss Marvel, who will be in has a TV series in the works coming to Disney Plus, and hopefully everybody knows who she is. She's kind of like Elastigirl type hero.
Actually, she's in the Avengers video game as well.
She's also in the Avengers.
She was actually the main character in that. I played that game. She was great, and that's the best part about the game. But this girl, like this actress here, looks a lot like her, so I'm hopeful about this. I'm gonna take away with, oh my gosh, when I saw the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, I lit up like a Christmas tree because Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite film of all time. I loved what James Gunn here, the director, did with it and wrote with it and directed it. Oh, it's all juicy and guppy, and I love it. I don't even know what guppy means. That's how hyped I am for it. First thing I want to highlight, it is separate from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. James Gunn took to Instagram over backlash because people were really quite angry that they were getting a Christmas movie as their Volume 3. It's not. This is an unofficial fan-made poster, by the way. For Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's completely separate from that. But fun fact, those two films are going to be filmed at the exact same time. So quite an undertaking. I'm not sure if it's going to be a short or a full feature film, but it is going to theaters, so it's we can assume that it is going to be a full feature. Next thing I want to highlight is that James Gunn was inspired for the holiday special and constantly pestered Kevin Feige over this. he wanted to make it because he loved the Star Wars Holiday Special growing up. So this was kind of like a dream job for him. Next up,
No,
we're
I've
bridging
never
into our
actually
TV
watched
shows.
the Star Wars Holiday Special.
What's that?
Never actually seen the Star Wars Holiday
Neither
Special.
have I. My parents are huge fans of it, and I have no idea.
Well, maybe after we see this, we'll go see the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Why not, right? We might as well.
There you go.
Let's talk about Ironheart.
All right. Yeah. So now going over this, Dominique, is that how you
That's
say
right.
her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dominique Thorne is playing Riri Williams, aka Ironheart herself, in the upcoming TV series known as Ironheart. And the plot of it follows her and the most advanced suit ever made since the actual Iron Man suit. Already the plot sounds fantastic and very interesting, and I'm really, really intrigued to see where they could take this in the future.
Yeah, and fun fact for this, a couple years back with Robert Downey Jr. took to a stage as he was accepting like a People's Choice Award for Iron Man. He said, I want to see Ironheart in the MCU, so I think there was a bit of a influence factor there. Short, take it away with Armor Wars.
Armor Wars, we've got Don Cheadle returning as the War Machine. And the plot is to thwart villains who have access to Tony's armor. This is kind of like that worst case scenario where all of Tony's tech and ideas have just fallen into the hands of any villain you could possibly think of. And a possible theory that we might have is Justin Hammer returning.
Oh, man.
Who will play as a villain, Titanium Man.
That'd be so cool.
I think that would be
Yeah.
probably be like the Iron Man 3 that we never got.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Totally agree with that. Next up is Secret Invasion. And this has Sam L. Jackson coming back as our Nick Fury. And also Ben Mendel Nicholson coming back as Talos. I don't know which names there are easier or harder to pronounce, but we have them returning as Secret Invasion. If you don't know, it's basically when the Skrulls come in and impersonate Avengers and all these other superheroes and villains too. So it'd be interesting to kind of see where they go with this. I'm scared it's going to be one of those Avengers 2.5 situations. But moving on.
I am very excited to talk about this one. Tatiana Maslany, the Canadian actress, has been confirmed she will be playing She-Hulk, aka Jennifer Walters. Also, if you see just to the right of her, you'll have Tim Roth returning as the Abomination, who we haven't seen this character since the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie.
Was it really 2008?
It was 2008 when that
Jeepers.
movie came out.
Holy
and actually,
cow.
that is some people don't like the film, but I heavily praise it. I think
I
it was
love
pretty
that
good.
film.
Yeah.
That was the best Hulk adaptation. Like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is great, but the look from the Incredible Hulk just made you like fear the Hulk even more.
It's just so much better. Yeah, I agree with the fear factor as well. This was like pre-Disney as well.
Speaking of the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo will be reprising the role as the Hulk in this TV show. I'm not sure how much we will be seeing of him. Hopefully it's a lot. Hopefully we get to see the Abomination and the Hulk go for round 2. See how that ends up. But I have high hopes for this show as well.
It will be exciting. Next up, we have our Hawkeye series coming into play here. This will be an exciting series to kind of experiment and test out. This was like one of the first series they actually announced at Comic-Con a couple years back. But only recently have we gotten new set photos of Haley Steinfeld coming in as Kate Bishop, who we saw in the concept art in previous years. We saw in the concept art in the top right of the screen that you see here, but we finally got a fine look at her costume. It was only very recently, the past week or so, that we found this set photo. Next up, we have Jeremy Renner was spotted with a hearing aid. Don't worry, Jeremy Renner is not going deaf, but Hawkeye may be going deaf. So that is a new story thread that we have to look forward to. So that will be exciting. Short, I'm going to tap you in here for one of our last slides.
Moon Knight. Oh, he's such an amazing, hero, vigilante kind of person. Powers based off of the moon, who he, in the comics, like, talks to. He speaks to the moon.
Yeah.
He hears the moon in his head, and he uses that. Like, he follows what the moon tells him what to do. So sometimes not always good, sometimes not always bad. All depends on what the moon wants, I guess. So we've got the actor Oscar Isaac coming back into play as Moon Knight. And there's rumored to be this is the first Marvel series to explore mental illness, which would work very well in the case of if he's claiming that he hears voices in his head. So I'm very excited to see what Marvel has in store for this.
Thank goodness you could explain that, because I did some research into Moon Knight. I can't explain him, so thank goodness you took the reins with that one. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. I think that'll be really cool.
As long as it's not like kind of like a Joker thing, where like you had to kind of it was heavily implied, but at the same time it's like a confusing sort of thing. Hopefully it's not like that. Hopefully it's just straight to the point.
Yeah.
Now going over.
Got high hopes for this.
Sorry. Yes. All right. So now to the final thing here. They are starting fun Baby Groot short films. These are not canon to the actual MCU, which might suck depending on how good they are. I believe these little short films would be kind of like growing up. They used to have this character called Shaun the Sheep short films.
Yeah.
If anyone remembers that, I believe it would just kind of be like, kind of claymation stuff. I guess it would kind of be like that, but just like a fun, goofy thing. And extra money in Marvel's pocket. It's said that these short films will be filled with the most unusual characters and fun plots.
Which are basically the Guardians films.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as there's Baby Groot, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it sucks it won't be canon to the actual MCU timeline, but hey, gotta enjoy Baby Groot.
Yeah, it's all for the kids. And just to cap everything off, we appreciate you folks coming out and listening to our quick little podcast when it comes to reviewing these 11 amazing titles. It was great to have you on our show, Short. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for inviting me out.
Yeah, we'd love to have you
It's
again.
exciting for everybody. Especially an MCU nerd. Well, not nerd, but fan like me.
Come on. We're all nerds here. We can say the N-word.
I meant nerd. I don't know much about it. I'm just a huge nerd fan.
There you go. That's one way of looking at it. Awesome. Alrighty. Thanks all for watching. We will be, if you want to comment, like, and subscribe, that'd be heavily appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you around. Thanks for watching, folks.